Hi, I'm Candy Bar, and have I told you about my dear boyfriend Kyle? Oh, you gotta meet him sometime soon, but probably after we finish this episode of Salty Trivia with Candy Bar. I know it's just you and me, and we're both mammals, but please do not reenact the Discovery Channel here. Oh, well, that's a time saver. First up, Unrented Time. I've been watching musicals as inspiration for some more operatic pieces for my band. Kyle doesn't seem to like distorted guitar though, so I have to practice without plugging my guitar to an amp. Anyway, speaking of musicals, in the lyrics of the song Seasons of Love from Rent, you know the one that goes 525,600 minutes? Love is the recommended way to measure a year, but which is not one of the other ways to measure a year. In strife, in inches, in cups of coffee, or in truths. Here's the tea. Your year just got longer. No, that's how you measure a friend with benefits, know what I'm saying?
Candy, please stop pushing the sensors.
Candy, please keep pushing the sensors.
Oh, I need more coffee to deal with this schmucksnee. The song suggests you can measure a year in strife, cups of coffee, and inches, but truth that she learned is how to measure a life. Well, there's another good excuse to play a trivia game. You're adding more value to your sad, boring life by learning more truths. Coming right up, Too Brit to Quit. I was listening to the Beatles and Queen for more inspiration recently. I like it a lot more than Kyle's repetitive trap playlist that passes as music these days. Anyway, if you were introducing the members of the Beatles to the members of Queen, which of the following could you say? John meet John, Ringo meet Ringo, George meet George, or Paul meet Paul. This is the part where I correct you. This answer is appalling. I'm curious, George, about why you chose that one. Ringo Starr's real name is Sir Richard Starkey, and Queen still has no Richards. The Beatles had John Lennon, while Queen had John Deacon, who was the bassist. How British would that matchup be? I would be listening to that for 1 minute and find myself with a crumpet on one hand, cup of black tea in the other, pinky outstretched, half-heartedly hand-waving colonialist history in the name of the crown. Let's see how you do in The Sports Central heating is set too high. Kyle watches sports a lot in my apartment. I don't really follow anything other than esports, but I occasionally bring him snacks and sit next to him on my phone sometimes.
Hey, Candy? You've been bad-mouthing your boyfriend on every question so far. Are you sure everything's going alright with you two?
We manage. Two Olympic athletes are talking to each other about doing a snatch and a clean and jerk. Now ignore the immature cretin's laughter and tell me, what kind of athletes are they? Pole vaulters, weightlifters, wrestlers, or gymnasts? Here's the tea. You know, for once, I can see the wrong logic behind this wrong answer. With the way the pole sticks up, curls around, and then launches you over, you might be under the impression that I'll keep explaining once Daisy stops cackling again.
You know, they're really gonna need some flexibility to get into their position.
Are you sure you're old enough to have this job?
Candy, you literally burst out laughing at a handy Homo erectus on episode 1.
Hey, don't remind me! You're gonna have to wrestle with your past mistakes, which now includes this question. Snatch and clean and jerk are the two specific lifts in Olympic weightlifting. I guess you can't help but think of terms like that in those singlet tights. That's what you're laughing about? Your food for thought. You've got gall to challenge your host. I'm gonna give you a silly phrase whose... Roger that, let's advance. With what cliché does this rhyme? No, Miss Barr, said I, let's argue. It's the first two lines of a poem. A poem about flowers and such. It's followed by sugar sweet and so are you. Oh, come on, you've never written a poem like this to your crush, your literature teacher, or the YouTuber Jax Films? Roses be red, violets be violet, my hair be on point cause I always style it. Here's your next category. Girl, you're looking financial. Okay, I just checked my banking app and apparently there's been a few transactions over the last few days I don't recognize. They're probably by Kyle, he has my bank account details, that's how much I love him, but something smells fishy here.
Uh-oh.
Unless Kyle quit his traditional keto diet in the last few days, which of these food purchases it's least likely to be for him? Steamed salmon with carrot sauté, dumplings and fried rice, chicken fajitas on lettuce, or avocado breakfast smoothie? And the big reveal? Look, this one is so far off the mark that I actually kind of feel sorry for you.
Let's just apologize. Romaine aside!
You need to stop listening to Vocaloid for about a week. Hey, as long as it isn't in sushi, I'm cool with avocado. I'd love to spare you, but I'm not allowed to. Dumplings and fried rice are high in carbohydrates, which is bad for a high-fat, low-carb diet like keto. What was Kyle doing at a Chinese restaurant at like 9 p.m. anyway? What is he hiding from me? Should I change my bank account passcode?
Hey, Candy. Just wanted to thank you for the yummy dumplings I bought with your money.
When did you... Okay, I'm defos changing my bank account passcode, and you owe me $20.
Not fair! It only cost $18.89!
Let's move on to Family Planet. Any committed relationship isn't complete without a family planning disagreement. For example, Kyle wants a lot of kids, like comically many. And I want nothing to do with it, especially not after going on a deep dive into DeviantArt.
Candy, what were you doing on DeviantArt?
Research?
I'm not buying that. And what does DeviantArt have to do with children, anyway?
Other than that you should keep your children away from DeviantArt? You'll see eventually.
That's unsettling.
If I wanted to live in the country where there are the fewest childbirths per woman, where should I suggest that Kyle and I start a family together? In South Korea? In Japan? In Italy? Or in France? Let's see if you passed. Japan is well below a fertility rate of 2.1, but it's been slowly improving, just as the late former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe would have wanted. Man, what a prick. No, but Italy has the oldest first-time mothers in Europe at 31 years old, so it may buy me time. No, France actually has the highest fertility rate among European countries. The entire place is still under 2.1 though, so it's still a tough cookie for the lawmakers to figure out. According to a 2019 survey, South Korea is the only country in the world to have a fertility rate below 1. That's way below the 2.1 necessary to keep the population from shrinking. Childcare and education cost too much, and with retirement seeming more like a pipe dream than a norm, I say no way, Jose. I'd rather waste the money on vintage guitars.
Oh, can we talk about what I found on DeviantArt the other day?
Nope.
That's it for round 1. Here's what the scores look like for now. With enough money, you might not be single by the time you finish this game. It's funny because I'm objectifying sexual partners as something you can buy. See ya later! Welcome back to Salty Trivia! I'm so glad that my boyfriend Kyle is watching this episode right now. Hey Kyle, see you after the show! Stay positive, trust and confidence, stifle your doubt, Candy. In this round, questions are worth double, but watch out because penalties are also worth double. Onward. Good, I hate repeating myself. You're gonna love this one. Someone's halls are about to get decked. You know the Christmas song, The 12 Days of Christmas, right?
5 gold rings!
I wasn't even singing it! By the end of the song, The 12 Days of Christmas, how many birds in total will my true love have sent to me? Yes, including a new partridge every day. 46 lousy birds? 92 annoying birds? 184 unwieldy birds? Or 368 frickin' birds? To set the record straight, 46? You can't even organize a decent Christmas choir with that few. Is your true love from the friggin' Bronx Zoo's well of buds? 7 swans are swimming, 6 geese are laying,
5 gold rings! 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree.
So you'll be given 42 swans, 42 geese, skip over golden rings, 36 calling birds, 30 French hens, 22 turtle doves, and 12 partridges, which totals 184 birds. What the hell am I supposed to do with all these birds? I'm not made of birdseed. On your left-hand side, you can see... Cake's so good, it'll melt your face off. I was looking at pictures of wedding cakes the other day while Kyle was busy watching NHL, which got me thinking. Suppose the Great British Bake Off introduced the penalty when applying icing to a cake. If it's similar to icing in ice hockey, which of the following would a baker be forbidden from doing? Applying icing to someone else's cake, squeezing icing from the other side of the kitchen, handling the icing without gloves on, or throwing the bag of icing in the air. Can you handle the truth? No, but you're not supposed to fight with gloves on. It's the opposite of boxing. No, but that bag is called a piping bag. Made you learn. In ice hockey, it's against the rules to shoot at a goal from behind the center line. That penalty is called icing. Hockey is funny because it's the only sport for people older than preschoolers that I can think of that has a timeout corner. You're gonna love this one. The happiest... I thought I had my phone on mute. One sec. Hey, honey, I'm a bit busy at the studio now, so... Wait, what? Who's Melinda? So the time we spent together meant nothing? I was just a quick for you?
Oh boy.
You know what? Fine then. I'm dumping you right back. I knew you were suspicious since the first time we met. Go yourself and tell Melinda to make the most of that flaccid-ass of yours that you think with. And I'm changing all my passwords so your broadcast can pay for your own Netflix. Slut chaser. Anyway, what's my ringtone? Blue Danube, Blue Rondo a la Turk, Rhapsody in Blue, or Blue Dabba Dee? Allow me to explain. No? Did you hear a song in 2 + 2 + 2 + 3 8 time? No, you didn't.
Candy, what the heck is that?
If you think that's cursed, try exploring math rock. No, you're the noob. Blue Dabba Dee, we don't have the license for that. So I had to change it from that. What you just heard was a segment of Rhapsody in Blue by George Gershwin, courtesy of the United States Marine Band. You would expect me to feel blue after a breakup, but you know what? I'm quite the opposite, like a burning red-orange right now. Here's your next category. Swiftly leave my life. I had a Valentine's Day themed sorta kinda for this slot, but here's what you're getting instead. I'm gonna give you 7 phrases, and for each of them, tell me if it's the title of a Taylor Swift song I'm gonna listen to later, or the title of a rom-com I'm gonna watch later. If it's Taylor Swift, press left. And if it's rom-com, press right. And lifesavers are as useful as love here, so let's get cracking. Trainwreck. The Photograph. The Story of Us. Back to December. Forever and Always. 10 things I hate about you. To all the boys I've loved before. That was sad and tragic, but definitely not beautiful. I knew you were going to have trouble on this question. Just a few mistakes, just shake it off and continue. 7 out of 7! No, because 7's a Taylor album. Telenovelas are more understandable than my ridiculous insensitive ex. The title of the next question is gonna be, I'm cutting you off. You know what calm me right down after a bitter breakup? Some sweet treats. Like this Laffy Taffy, the rapper, which says, why did the phones break up? They wanted to go wireless. Why did I have to read the rap again? Now I'm mad for a different reason. Anyway, why would I not be able to use a cell phone that's a Lusophone? Because it can only make brass noises, because it only picks up seismic waves, because I don't speak Portuguese, or because it's traumatized by loud noises. Allow me to explain. No, but I'm traumatized by being ditched on TV by a living representation of a tar pit filled with f***ing battery acid!
Andy, keep it together, please.
Wake up! No, you're thinking of a seismometer, which measures the shaking of the ground caused by earthquakes. Or caused by me slamming Kyle's face on the ground again and again with full force after this show. A Lusophone is another word for a Portuguese speaker, like an Anglophone is an English speaker. And Kyle is another word for someone who doesn't speak any love languages. Man, screw that guy. I hope he gets an ingrown. I don't want to do this episode anymore.
Candy, I feel your pain. That feels like a really rough breakup.
Girl, you didn't even share any interest with him. You should have dumped him sooner.
I know. It's just... I don't know what's been wrong with me for the last few weeks.
Only for the last few weeks?
Daisy, you're not helping. Hey, Candy, why don't we do a question about something you like?
Like what?
Let's see. How about this question about telling someone to go to hell?
Oh, hell yeah!
Really, you two?
Suppose Candy told her ex to go to hell, and he actually does go to a place called hell. All but which of these places could he post about on Instagram? Michigan, United States, Grand Cayman, the Cayman Islands, Adamawa region, Cameroon, or what the heck is that?
Trøndelag County, Norway.
Thanks, Candy!
This is the fun part. Hell is an area in the Cayman Islands famous for ominous limestone spikes in the ground. So Kyle would be having a vacation that he absolutely doesn't deserve!
Yo, girl, keep your cool!
Hell, Michigan is the most famous hell in the United States, which means that hell quite often freezes over. You used your lifesaver on this question. Now's your chance to answer. Hell is a village in Norway, right about the south-ish area where it squeezes a bit. In case you're wondering, there's a place called Hell in Michigan, the Cayman Islands, and Norway, but Cameroon was just today's world to answer.
Well, that went well, didn't it?
Yeah, I guess.
Remember, people love you, and there are a lot more fish in the sea.
But some of them are Ellen DeGeneres. The point is, screw fish.
Daisy, again, you're not helping.
Welcome to Like It or Leave It. The topic is me time. And the options are a cup of ice cream, a month of Netflix Basic, and my worthless ex Kyle. Because if I'm not over him yet, I might as well tell him to go f himself as extravagantly as I can. I spent $10 or less on it. basic Netflix subscription costs $9.99 a month, unlike a basic boyfriend on whom I wasted my hard-earned money. Can be purchased at a 7-Eleven. "7-Eleven sells Netflix gift cards, but they can't sell your personality, Kyle. Is keto." You never made or bought me good food anyway, Kyle, you unavailable kitchen rag. I don't need you. Mainly enjoyed online. Nobody's gonna enjoy your company online or offline, Kyle, you bucket of compost. Has let me down in the past 15 minutes. I can't believe I saw anything whatsoever in an adrenaline-poisoned, emotionally impaired fire hazard like you. Well, now that that's over with, let's convert your likes to scores. Thanks for coming to this episode. I hope you now know how much of a dirty cheater Kyle is. I hope its rapping career never takes off. Guys, the phone call was staged. Kyle isn't even a real person. We make up half the shit that happens on this show.